Yo, what's going on, guys? So welcome to the first episode of New England Brew with you. I'm really excited about this. So the way I want to kick off this series is I'm going to start off with my favorite beer. Highest rated beer on my Untappd list. The reason why I'm starting out with this is because we are going to try and find a beer that I like better than this. Now, let's just say this has been my favorite beer now for like 3, maybe 4 years. But doing this YouTube series, I'm gonna try my best to hunt down some of the best beers here in New England. So let's try and beat this beer, but let's start off with this one. This is the Heady Topper from Alchemist. They are in Vermont. It's 8% alcohol. So let's just read the can here, okay? Heady Topper is an American double IPA. This beer is not intended to be the biggest or most bitter. It is meant to give you wave after wave of hoppy goodness onto your palate. Tremendous amounts of American hops will creep up on you and leave you with a dense hoppy finish in your mouth. So drinkable, it's scary. Sometimes I wish I could crawl right into the can. It tells you to drink from the can. Now, Alchemist Brewery, don't hate me, but here on New England Brew with you, hosted by Connecticut Vlogs, we drink everything in a glass. So that's what we're gonna do. Cheers, fam. Wow, this is by far the best tasting IPA. Double IPA. This is the best tasting IPA I've ever had. It's smooth, it's got a lot of flavor, and when they say wave after wave of flavors, it really is like, don't get me wrong, it's hoppy, but it's smooth too. I've never had a beer taste this hoppy, but not have a crazy bitterness to it. I feel like this is just the most well-balanced double IPA I've ever had. I also want to say this is kind of a treat. I live in Connecticut, and yes, you can get this beer in Connecticut, but it's very hard. Alchemist really doesn't distribute much down here in Connecticut. I mean, if you go to like New Hampshire, obviously Vermont, you can pick these cans up anywheres, but in Connecticut, we don't get a lot of package stores here in Connecticut that carry this. Like I said, you will find some, but it's very rare, and this is like a treat for if you're a Connecticut and you see Heady Topper, most people are buying it. This is a treat, guys. This really is a treat. The reason why I have this is my buddy's father went up to New Hampshire or Vermont, I forgot which one, and he bought like 3 cases, and he usually just sells them to people around here because like I said, if anybody here in Connecticut has Heady Topper, they buy it. I mean, that's kind of how it is. So this is like a treat. This is an awesome beer. The brewery is really cool. Maybe sometime on this channel we'll actually go and visit the actual brewery, because the brewery is really cool. Bunch of art on there, graffiti, local artists. Yeah, and they have a lot of other good beers too. But I think this is their flagship beer. But it really is their best beer, and I really think it's New England's best beer. Like I said, we're gonna hunt down some beers in this. We're gonna try to find a beer better than this. That is the goal. I wanna find a beer better than this in New England. I think it exists. I really do. I think it exists. I think it's possible. Might take a while, but we're gonna go for it. All right, let's top her off here. Probably gonna see some hop residues and some yeasties come out. Oh yeah, yep. Not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah, I think you can. It's definitely an unfiltered beer. It's not the haziest beer, but it's definitely not filtered. They say this is an American IPA. Now, if I were to look at this, I would call it a New England IPA, but at the same time, it's not super, super, super hazy. Some people don't like the yeast in their beer. It's not bad for you. If anything, it's pretty nutritious. And like I said, it's not all yeast. Some of it is hop residues. I'm pretty sure that in this beer, they do a second hop addition. What that means is whether it's a 60-minute boil, which is like the most common, 90-minute boil, or a 120 boil, you're adding in your ingredients, and you have like hop additions. So it's like, I'm gonna add in these hops 15 minutes into the boil. I'm gonna add these hops 30 minutes into the boil, and then I'm gonna top off these hops 45 minutes into the boil, let it all boil and you're done. So whenever someone says it's a second hop addition, they mean it's a second hop addition into the second process. So you got your boil, you got your fermentation, and if there's any type of second additions to whether it's hops, fruit, those are the two common. It usually means that they're adding it into the fermentation process. So I'm pretty sure that they do second hop additions in this beer. It doesn't tell you that in the can, but I'm pretty confident that they do. But I'm telling you, the flavor of this beer is awesome. 80% of the beers that we're gonna have on here are gonna be ones that I haven't had before, because like I said, this whole podcast, this whole YouTube series is all about trying to find a beer that I like better than this. I'm really interested in trying to find out, guys. So yeah, I'm sorry, Alchemist. I know it says drink in a can, and I'm sure there's some scientific reason behind that. I think I know that reason, but I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm not exactly sure, and I only wanna speak about things that I'm pretty confident in. I'm pretty sure I know the reason why you want me to drink it out of this can, but you gotta know, on this channel, we pour everything into a glass. And you did warn me, by the way, they did warn me on this. They said, if you must pour it into a glass, you may find that some of hop resins have settled to the bottom. Leave them into the can while pouring. I didn't listen to that either. They're all in my glass, you know, they're all in my glass. I think it's kind of hard to keep the yeast in there. I mean, unless you want me to keep like a little bit of beer in here and not pour it into the glass, that's probably what you want me to do. But this beer is so good, and I live in Connecticut and we don't get this all the time. I'm drinking every last drop. Every last drop that's in this can, the yeast, the hop additions, I don't give a flying shit is going down. Into the palate, gone. I'm enjoying this beer, guys. You can see here, Heady Topper's a 5. What I don't like about Untapped is you can only rate beers by 0.25, which kind of sucks, because I kind of agree with that whole Davey from Barstool that says you can't rate a pizza a 10 because you might find something better. I agree with that 100%, but because how Untapped works with only 0.25, it's really hard to do that. So my top beer will always be rated a 5. So if I find a beer better, that will be a 5, and then I drop down the beer to a 4.75. So right now I have Heady Topper as a 5, and if I find something better, that will drop to a 4.75, and the beer will take that 5 spot. So you're only gonna get 2 beers here in Connecticut from Alchemist. It's either Heady Topper or Focal Banger. Focal Banger is really hard to find. You can get it, but it's super, super hard to find. It's not as good as this, but I mean, it's close. And those are the only 2 beers that I've had from Alchemist, was Heady Topper and Focal Banger, and they got many, many, many more that we just don't ever get here in Connecticut. So I think we need to go and take a trip there. We need to take a trip to the brewery, get some flights, dig into some of those beers, because like I said, this is my favorite beer that I've ever had, but I'm not gonna say Alchemist is my favorite brewery, because what I consider favorite beer to favorite brewery is, my favorite brewery is going to be, okay, 90% of their beers I think are phenomenal. That's a favorite brewery. I can't say that about Alchemist because I've only had 2 of their beers. Granted, 2 of their beers are really high up on my list on Untapped. So yeah, it has the potential to be my favorite brewery also, but I cannot say that they are because I've only had 2 beers from them, and you know 2 beers from a brewery nowadays in the craft beer world is just not enough. So let's down this. Cheers to Alchemist. Cheers to the fact that this is the best beer that I've ever had. And cheers to let's try to find something better. Down the hatch. If you guys like this video, comment, thumbs up on this. It really helps the channel. If you're new to this and you just saw this, I am dropping a video every Friday on this beer stuff, and I also have weekend adventure vlogs that I drop every Saturday. I go brewery hopping, sometimes I go longboarding, sometimes I go hiking, camping. Saturday drops could be completely random. Completely random. I know they say you gotta find a niche, but like, come on. Come on. There's so many things to record in life. Every Friday will be a beer night. I guarantee that. Every Friday, a New England brew with you. A New England brew with you. That's every Friday. Saturday, random. If you guys are curious about my random weekend adventures, watch the videos on Saturday. If y'all want to see some beer reviews and try to see if we can beat this one, see it on Friday. Hey, I appreciate it. Like, comment, please subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out. I'm trying to do the best that I can here, and I appreciate everybody. If you comment, I'm definitely going to comment back. I promise. I'm trying to get everybody involved. I'm trying to build a community. I love you guys. Thank you. Peace. Cheers up to Alchemist.